All right, welcome back to the channel. So Deontay Wilder drama has exposed Tyson Fury, the media, and the whole heavyweight division, and the desire for money over credibility. What is the thing that is destroying boxing? Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Martin. Welcome back to Phenom International Boxing. And today we're going to talk, or this video, we're going to talk about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, a subject matter that has been going on for well over, it seems like it's going on 2 years. The first fight, Deontay Wilder fought to a draw with Tyson Fury in what was just an example of cheating. Glove half off his hand, and then the referee not counting a knockdown, right? Then in the 12th round, when he knocks him unconscious, screams in his ear, gets up, doesn't even wipe his his glove hanging half off his hand. A complete disgrace of a performance by Jack Reese. No doubt the guy should never, ever be allowed to referee again, ever. That was the start of it. Then Tyson Fury ducks out of the rematch, right? And goes through, changes promoters, changes networks, brings all this extra drama in, and then cheats even worse in the second fight than he did the first fight. He cheated without a doubt with loaded gloves, without a doubt neck wrenches, without a doubt absolutely horrific physical actions by Tyson Fury in that fight that no reasonable boxer would say belongs in a boxing match. The way the tactics that he used against Deontay Wilder, aside from the discussion about his water being tainted, and let me tell you, with all of the other cheating that I've seen Tyson Fury be involved in through researching, if you haven't seen it, please review the Sneaky Punch videos. They've got them laid out in detail. This is well within this guy's repertoire to cheat in that manner. In fact, he himself said, and after the press conference, when somebody tried to hand him some water, do not give me any water. I don't know what's being put in people's water. I'm only taking my water. Seems kind of odd, right? But regardless, from what I can see, and I think reasonable people can see that are not on people's payrolls, that man cheated, and that man cheated badly. And to add insult to injury, now he's trying to skip out of the fight and trying to make a fight with Anthony Joshua. Yesterday, Eddie Hearn had announced and ESPN had announced that they had come up with an agreement for a fight, right? A 2-fight deal that had certain little hurdles or whatever that they had to overcome to make. Now, after that, Frank Warren comes out and says, I was really disturbed by that announcement of the fight because, you know, there are other things that have to go on around that before that fight can be made. Same thing Bob Arum said. Bob Arum was actually kind of, I would say livid about the announcement and saying, hey, yeah, but who's going to pay for the fight? Who's going to do this fight, right? So the question is, if Bob Arum is not behind it 100% and Frank Warren isn't behind it 100%, who is behind it? Who is pushing it through the media, right? Because if you look at what the scenario is, it just doesn't seem like it's possible that that fight can take place. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are still in court with one another, right? They're still, from my understanding, still in the mediation process and haven't gotten to the arbitration process yet, which could take a good amount of time. You add to that the fact that there's no real money involved in the sport unless you can find somebody that has got the money, to put up the fight, right? But from what I can see, the people with the money to put up the fight ain't trying to do anything that would upset Deontay Wilder because they believe that Deontay Wilder really does have the name recognition and the fan base in the United States to be very, very big and successful without either one of those guys. With the coming up of these young heavyweights in America like Jared Anderson, the fact that you have really good guys like Joe Joyce, you have he's not the best fighter in the world. You get my point. There are people that say, hey, look, man, American heavyweight boxing belongs to Deontay Wilder, and we're not particularly interested in what you guys are doing over there in the UK, right? But it just boggles my mind that Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn would even be talking about a 2-fight deal, seeing as Tyson Fury has yet to keep a deal on a 2-fight deal. He didn't give a rematch to Vladimir Klitschko. He ducked out of Deontay Wilder's a rematch with Deontay Wilder the first time, and he's trying to get out of it the third time. If he goes into a fight with Anthony Joshua and he's allowed to cheat and win, Anthony Joshua's not going to get a rematch either. That's just what Tyson Fury's about. So why is this allowed to go on? It's allowed to go on because of the boxing media and other fighters in the heavyweight division. That is what I have to believe, because for a promoter to say what they're going to do and the fights that they're going to make, hey, man, they're promoters. That's what they do, right? They fib. They are kind of full of it, right? They're going to say whatever they got to say to keep interest in their fighter, right? So take, for example, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua does not have a lot of excitement around him. Like, who is he going to fight? If you take Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder out of the equation, who is Anthony Joshua going to fight? I don't believe he's going to be fighting Tyson Fury because of the reasons that I said. But Eddie Hearn will put that out there and will keep pushing it to keep Anthony Joshua's name in the forefront, to keep Matchroom Boxing's name in the forefront, to keep ESPN's name, obviously ESPN's in on it, to keep their name in the forefront. But without ever sitting back and thinking, hold on, man, is this something we should really be doing, right? Heavyweight boxers that know this man cheated, like Charles Martin, like Anthony Joshua, like any other heavyweight that's out there with eyes, should be saying, look, man, no, Tyson Fury's not the champion. We're not interested in a Tyson Fury fight because Tyson Fury's just a cheater. He has not proved that he was better than Deontay Wilder. He cheated. Actually, he didn't prove that he's better than Vladimir Klitschko. He tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs before that fight began. So the thing is, obviously, we cannot rely upon promoters to do what's right. We can't rely on what networks say, because they're in lockstep with the fighters and the promoters that they're dealing with. This comes down to the boxing fans through pushing on the media, and boxers who are in the ring and have to get in the ring and fight for their lives. There should not be any heavyweight boxer out there that doesn't stand up and say, no, man, this is absolutely wrong. Tyson Fury, at the very least, needs to satisfy his rematch clause and fight very, very fairly, or Tyson Fury just needs to go away. I laid out a scenario yesterday where, I thought, well, hey, man, these guys want this fight so bad in the UK, and I can't believe that they, they want to have their champion, right? So I say, hey, why don't you give, Deontay Wilder your purse so that you can go ahead and fight? Give him the front end, you take the back end, right? Take the front end guarantee, give it to Deontay Wilder for the next several fights. And quite honestly, I would believe Deontay Wilder would ask for the rest of your career for the damage that you did denting that man's head. So, I'm watching what's going on with this, and it's just an upsetting situation all the way around. It exposes Tyson Fury 100% as being just a crook, man. It exposes the media, like we've said, for being just lockstep and doing whatever the promoters say. But then it, also with the heavyweights and the other fighters there that aren't standing up for the truth, clearly you are choosing money over your own credibility, or money over the credibility of the sport. And I just think that's something we should reflect upon and something that should be changed. But that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.